What's up, y'all? I think this is probably my last commentary on this because I feel like it is bigger than about this particular incident between Will Smith and Chris Rock and the Oscars. But one of the things that I want us to think about um, and to just be aware of, because I believe this is a season where we're being asked to do this particular work, is so many of us have new awarenesses, right? We have so many new awarenesses. We have new awarenesses about marginalization. We have new awareness about harm. We have new awarenesses about violence. We have new awarenesses about race and gender and class and age. And we have all of these new awarenesses, new things we've learned. So many of us, and that's like at the macro level and at the personal level, so many of us have new awarenesses about our own historical patterns. We have new awarenesses about how trauma has impacted and shaped us. We have new awarenesses about, the things that we've been carrying that we didn't even realize we were carrying that are shaping how we move through the world, and they're shaping our relationships, and they're shaping our jobs, and they're shaping our outcomes. And all of a sudden, we can see so much more clearly all of these dynamics that are at play in our lives. And we still have the same old tools. We have all these new awarenesses, but we have the same old tools. And I think that yesterday was such an interesting experience of that with Will Smith and Chris Rock, because, I heard in that speech Will Smith speaking to a new awareness about his responsibility to care for and protect the people in his life that he loves, right? And like I said, if you saw my stories on Instagram, I talked about Will Smith's history of being a child of domestic violence and feeling ineffectual at keeping his mother safe while his father was being violent towards her. And so, you know, last night what we saw was this person who had a new awareness, right? An awareness about about and an empowered experience, it sounded like, of being like, no, I am called to be um, a protector for the people that I love. But Will Smith's had the same old tools that we've given men, particularly, uh, since time, right? He had the same old tool of violence, the same old tool of aggression, the same old tool of um, uh, uh, exponential harm, right? And so we end up with a situation where someone has a new awareness but has the old tools. We see this right now with, these conversations about cancel culture and all of these other things, which in some ways is a conversation about a new awareness, an awareness about the impact of harm, an awareness about what is acceptable and what is not acceptable as it relates to how we harm people, um, based on, systemic oppressions and body-based oppression. But we have the same old tools of carcerality and isolation and punishment, right? As how we navigate those spaces. So, new awareness, same old tools. What I'm inviting us to do, I'm not inviting us. I'm clear the universe is inviting us. We have been cosmically invited to build new tools. It is the time for new tools, friends. Because if you have a new awareness, but you have the same old tools, you're basically going to build the same house. You'll have some better amenities in it. It might have a nicer chandelier. You might have a better view, right? But the fundamental challenge of the structure will remain the same. And so we have got to create new tools. I thought to myself, it would have been equally shocking and powerful if Will Smith had done heard what he heard, walked up on that stage, taken the mic out of Chris Rock's hand, and said, I will not allow you to disrespect my wife in this public space in this way. I will not allow you to shame her anymore, to use her name like this, and I will not accept it. Because I've been called to protect my wife and to protect the people that I love. And right now, you are being abusive to her, and I'm not going to allow it. Everyone would have been shocked, floored. It would have stopped and shifted the entire energy of the show. People would have been talking about it for ages. And, people would have still had their opinions. People would have still said it was wrong. You would have still had an entire cohort of humans who were going to say, but it's just a joke. We should let jokes happen, right? You'll still have that conversation. Cool. Because that's a conversation between people who, it's not a conversation between people who have the same awarenesses. That's a conversation between people who have a new awareness and people who are still stuck in an old awareness. Fine, those conversations will exist. But the person who has the new awareness is called to build the new tools. If you have a new awareness about how trauma is played out in your life, about how your historical, ancestral, and family of origin wounds are playing out in the ways in which your relationships have happened, if you've got a new awareness, it is time to make a new tool. Because you used to do, when you didn't have any awareness, you were still building things with tools based off of those traumas. But now that you have a new awareness, it's like, all right, those tools only reaffirmed those harms. Those tools only built those same structures that I'm trying to get out of. So today I need new tools. What are those new tools? What are the tools for the new world? That's where we are, y'all. And it's actually a really beautiful place to be. Because what it means is we see some shit that we ain't seen before. Things are clearer now. Beautiful. Now, how do we not take the old world into the new one? How do we leave those tools at that site and start constructing something from a new imagination? And I assure you that the imagination for the new tools is there because the awareness is there. If you see something different, you can create something different. If you can see it differently, then your access to the expanse of possibility becomes different. But we've got to resist the urge, the instinct, the default instinct to just use what we've always used. Because if you use what you've always used, you will get what you've always gotten. But if you have a new awareness, you are being given an opportunity to create something totally new with a totally new set of tools. There are new tools available. That's what at the heart of this conversation about abolition and transformative justice. It's about new tools. All right. The conversation about, the conversation about radical self-love, new tools. And they're new tools in so much as we are sort of figuring out how we shape ancient wisdom to meet modern day, to meet this particular point of, historical innovation or contemporary innovation, right? So it's old wisdom pulled into our present day and shaped, adding the technology of today such that we have something new. I want us to that, if nothing else, that's actually what I want us to leave this experience with. If we have a new awareness, we have an invitation to build a new tool to meet that new awareness. Otherwise, we're just going to keep creating the old world. And I'm sick of that one. I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired of it. I'm excited about what we're going to build. I know that we're seeing things different now. Now, how are we going to move different? Love y'all.